The Story of an Hour is a short story written by Kate Chopin, which was published in 1894. She was an American feminist writer, famous for her works The Awakening, The Story of an Hour, and The Storm. Her novel The Awakening, published in 1899, faced much negative criticism because of its unconventionality, which went beyond the standards of social norms of that time. Some of her major themes include women's search for identity, their revolt against conformity to the conventional standards. Coming to the plot, Louise Mallard is a girl with a heart disease, and she finds out that her husband is no more. Her husband, Mr. Blenkley Mallard, dies in a railroad accident. As soon as she hears the news, she weeps on her sister's shoulder. Lucy is not among the women who take the news with a paralyzed inability to accept its significance. She runs up her room and locks herself up, wanting to be left alone. Her grief is too much, but all of a sudden, she peeks out of her window and she sees freedom. She feels that she is at last free from the bondage that is marriage. The new sense of feeling is overwhelming to her. She had no hard feelings for her husband, nor he hates her, but it is not a glance of reflection, but rather indicated a suspension of an intelligent thought. She began to reflect that there would be no powerful will bending hers in that blind persistence with which men and women believe they had a right to impose a private will upon a fellow creature. A kind intention or a cruel intention made the act seem no less a crime as she looked upon it in that brief moment of illumination. No sooner that she is basking in the rays of this new sense of freedom, she sees her husband, who is supposed to be dead, walk by into the house. Her heart stops on seeing him. The doctors later declare that she was so overwhelmed with joy on seeing her husband that her heart could not handle it and it stopped killing her in the process. Now, that may be the literal meaning, but what is between the lines is that she goes into a shock on knowing the fact that her husband is not dead, and she is depressed that she is no longer free, have to be under the control of her husband throughout the rest of her life. This is a twisted kind of a story, and that is why Kate Chopin was surrounded by controversies in her time. During her time, a literary movement called American Realism was going on, and this story comes under it. It is believed that Kate Chopin had to kill her heroine in the end so as to make the story publishable. Otherwise, the publishers would not accept her story. I hope you have enjoyed the story. Have a great day.